and today's top tip is about value stacking, how you can make your offers irresistible. So again, thank you for being here today. I have a PowerPoint slide presentation I want to do because you guys seemed to like it last week. But if you have not watched last week's Tuesday top tip, that was on how to convert 100% of your leads. I highly recommend that. Combine these two thought processes together and you'll be unstoppable. Okay. So again, congratulations for being here. I'm excited to help you dive into something that I think is so powerful, and that's value stacking. Value stacking is how we can make our offers irresistible and get clients to instantly say yes to our offer. So thank you for being here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get started together. All right. Okay, so Tuesday's top tip again, how to build offers so irresistible clients say yes instantly. So we're going to be talking about value stacking, but what is value stacking? Value stacking is about transformation for your client. Okay, now I want to get this right for you guys. I want you guys to get this right. Value stacking is not stacking a bunch of stuff in your offer just because you got a bunch of stuff. That actually won't translate to value at all. So before I show you how to do it, I want you to understand what it actually is. Value stacking is not adding a bunch of random bonuses to your offer. I already stated that. Value stacking is taking the transformation your client wants, their dream outcome, and building layers of value around it so that your offer becomes irresistible. We're going to talk about how to do that today. But here's the key things that you should know. You cannot value stack if you don't know who your dream customer is. So if you do not know who your dream customer is right now, maybe stop this video, stop watching this video, I should say, and go to a whiteboard and start planning out who your dream customer is, because that is number one. You have to know that. You cannot value stack if you don't know what they want. So that's why you got to know your dream customer. You got to have a niche. You got to know what that customer wants. And if you don't know, you need to go to the drawing board and figure that part out before you can ever start the value stacking. And you absolutely cannot value stack if you do not know the problems, fears, and obstacles standing in their way. So who is your dream customer? What do they want? And what are the problems, fears, and obstacles that are standing in their way from getting to their dream outcome? And your job is to help show them the way. Okay. And you can't show them the way if you don't, number one, know who the dream customer is. Number two, know what they want. Number three, know what the problems and fears and obstacles they may have that's stopping them. Because your value stack is simply a list of solutions and a list of obstacles. Okay, so you're going to have a list of obstacles, and what are the solutions to those obstacles? That is what your value stack is. If your client fears won't work, if the client fears it won't work, your process, you add a system that builds confidence. Okay, so that would be a value stack. If the client thinks it will take too long, you add a timeline to your value stack. If the client doesn't know where to start, you add a roadmap to your value stack. If the client has been turned down before or been burnt before or has resistance because of something like that, you add transparency. You add maybe video reviews, things like that. Value stacking is the process of taking what you already are doing and showing it in layers that make the client say, wow, I get all of that. So I want you to think about that for a second. Value stacking it isn't necessarily adding more work to your plate. It's probably stuff you're already doing, especially if you do have a dream customer right now and you have the dream outcome. You probably have multiple things you're doing to help to get that dream customer to the dream outcome. But you may not be listing those out and letting the client know specifically what you're going to get in the journey that they come along with you. Okay. And so that's how you're going to start to value stack. And the best part of value stacking is that value pieces don't require extra work. And a lot of times require no extra work. Again, it's just you're stacking the value into your offer. And most of those value stacks, if you are a credit professional, if you're a loan officer, if you're a real estate agent, most of your value stack values are actually going to come out of your LevelUp score. So if you're not using LevelUp score, I encourage you to check it out. But if you are a credit professional and you are using LevelUp Score, you're going to see today where a lot of what you're going to be putting in your value stacks comes right from LevelUp Score. So what does that mean? No extra work for you. Obviously, LevelUp Score does all that work for you. Okay. So I hope we're clear on what a value stack is. So the first part I want to talk about is we got to start with that dream outcome, right? So if we're starting with the dream outcome, for instance, a value stack is going to be built on the dream outcome. So if I don't know their dream, I can't build the value, right? So let's kind of think about your clients right now. Are some of the examples of their dream outcome things like, I want to buy a home in the next 6 months. I want to fix my credit without feeling overwhelmed. And that's a great one if you think about products like Credit Versio. It's kind of their messaging. How you can fix your credit without being overwhelmed. How you can fix your credit without spending a lot of money. I want to get a car without a crazy interest rate. I want to feel financially confident and stable. These are all dream outcomes that your clients might be having. So if you can define what that is, that once you have that, now you have the messaging, right? So finding out what that dream outcome is. If your offer doesn't connect directly to their dream outcome, they won't see the value. I don't care how many value stacking you do. If your offer doesn't directly connect to their dream outcome, they won't see the value. And that is very important. And that's why you need to know what the dream outcome is. Okay. Next part, and I harp on this a lot. Alex Ramosi will tell you the riches are in the niches. Okay. You have to know what your niche is. If you are out there as a loan officer and you're saying, I do all loans, then you have no one to talk to. If you are a credit repair professional and you're saying, I help everybody with credit issues, you're not talking to anyone. You have to really connect what you're doing, the offer you have, with their outcome. So everybody doesn't have the same outcome. You might be talking to everybody who has bad credit, but they don't have the same dream outcome in that scenario. So it's very important that you understand that. So some examples of some niches that I think work really, really well. The first one is the one I did. I was a first-time homebuyer specialist. And as you're going to get to know in this live, you're going to see how I value stacked for first-time homebuyers. But I'll give you a preview here. So when you came into my ecosystem, I was a first-time homebuyer specialist. Okay. I wasn't a credit repair specialist. I wasn't a loan officer. I wasn't a down payment assistance expert. I wasn't a home buyer education expert. No, I was a first-time home buyer specialist. What did that mean? That means there's a ladder of value that I can add to that. So if you had credit issues, I would help you with that. If you needed down payment, I had resources for that. If you needed home buyer education course, I got you covered. If you needed a loan product, I got you covered. If you need a real estate agent, I got you covered. If you needed to know what the journey looked like when buying a home, I got you covered, right? That was my job as a first-time homebuyer specialist. So I was able to take all the problems that first-time homebuyers might endure and then find solutions and create that in my overall offer. Okay, does that make sense? So making sure you connect your offer, my offer, first-time homebuyer specialist, to what they want as their dream outcome. And so here's some really great ones. Single moms, all kinds of things you can do for single moms. Veterans, that's a big one right now. Loan officer referrals. How can you get loan officers into your ecosystem and help in giving them more referrals? Auto buyers, divorce recovery, huge one. Self-employed borrowers, this is a great one. I know in the lending world, this is really great because if you can be specialized as a self-employed borrower's loan officer, right, or attorney, then you can have these people who really have a difficult time finding a really good loan officer who understands self-employed borrowers and understands the products and services that are available for them. So this is a really good one, and down to tax preparers and things like that. So does that make sense? When you know your niche, you know your audience and who you're going to talk to, you now know their dream outcome, and you can start to layer in the value adds to make sure they get to their dream outcome. That's the whole idea, right? Okay. All right. Next thing, and this is the gold of the gold of the gold, and it's going to take you a minute to do it, but please take the time to do it. I would encourage you after you watch this live, just kind of sit back in your chair if you got a moment, or do it before you go to bed tonight and list out, here is my niche, here is my dream customer, here is their dream outcome, and here are all the obstacles. And some of you have been in business for a long time, so you heard the obstacles. I had one of my mentees today send me a message on some obstacles she got. Like, I need to talk to my spouse. I don't have enough money. I got to wait till payday. It's not in my budget, right? You need to know all of those fears, all of those obstacles, all of those problems that would prevent them from buying your product. And you want to write all those down, and you're going to be in your value stack. You're actually going to be solving all those problems. Okay. So I'm going to give you a really cool visual that was given to me that I think might help you on this whole process here that I'm talking about when I'm talking about value stack. If I had in the parking lot right now, I said, hey, in the parking lot right now, I have a Ferrari for you. It's brand new. It's beautiful. It's your favorite color. It's everything you'd ever dream of. Assuming you like Ferraris. Okay, so let's pretend here. Most of you probably do. And if you don't, you're going to see the value right away. And I said, I will give that Ferrari to you for $30,000. Now, I'm going to bet everyone listening to this would go find $30,000. So you wouldn't go ask your spouse. You wouldn't go say you don't have the money for it, right? Because you will go and find the money somehow, some way. You are going to get 30,000. Why are you going to get 30,000? Because the value of that Ferrari is so much bigger than the cost that I gave you. And that's a great visual for you as you start to build your offer. Your value needs to be so big compared to the price of the offer that they don't have to think about it. They don't need to ask their spouse about it. They aren't going to say they don't have the money for it, because guess what? They were going to go and find the money. If the value is big enough, we will find the money for it. Fair? We can all say that. So we want to look at that. We want to look at and identify all the obstacles, because this is the goal. This is where we provide the value that's going to make our offer irresistible. We want to look at emotional stuff. Like, I tried credit repair before and it didn't work, or I tried getting a loan before and I got burnt by the loan officer, didn't approve me and just told me I didn't get approved, never called me back. I'm scared I can't do it. They have their own. It's not just about whether or not you can do it. They might not feel they can do it. How we simplify that process to make it attainable for them. I don't know anybody with good credit. Maybe they're feeling lost because, like, I don't know anybody who's done this, so I don't even think that this is possible for me. Some situational things that might happen: no savings, no, they have a high debt to income ratio, they have identity issues, divorce, low income. Practical things: I don't know where to start. I don't know what a score I actually need, even. I'm overwhelmed. I don't even know what my score is, right? So all of those things can be obstacles and problems that are preventing them from moving forward. And your job is to solve for that. Okay. And that's where the goal is. And you're going to solve for all of them. So you're going to be writing them down. And if you have not done the homework, where you have your niche, you have your dream client, and you know what the dream outcome is, that's your homework now, is to go figure that out and then start interviewing people. Sometimes you're going to know from your own experience and working in the field, if you've been in the field for a minute, some of the questions and objections that you've heard. Sometimes you're going to get some of that information from your own experiences. If I'm a first-time home buyer, what was my experience buying my first home? What were some of the fears I felt? What are some of the things that were going through my head, right? And you can use that to build off of. But don't underestimate the value of interviewing your clients or your prospects or your leads on what they actually need and how they feel. It's a very, very important part of the process with any business owner, and you should constantly be doing it because things change. Okay. So identifying every obstacle, this is the goal. Let's see what I want to tell you. Every obstacle becomes a value item. Every obstacle becomes a value item. Every fear becomes a solution. Very, very important. So now in segment 2 of this live, I want to turn to looking at obstacles and turning those into solutions. So once you know the dream outcome and the obstacles, we just did that work, right? Value stacking becomes actually really super easy. Okay, so I'm going to give you the formula for value stacking here. We have a 5-layer stack framework, I call it. So you have your core offer. What are you trying to offer? What is the framework or method? What is the journey? What are the tools and resources that they might get? What's the done for you elements? Everybody wants a lot of done for me elements. So the ease of the process and bonuses that would eliminate fear. So we're looking for things in each of those categories to make sure we cover all of those, right? And that's the 5-layer stack framework. Okay, so we're gonna demonstrate this in real time. So obstacles. So Let's say I have a client coming into me. Here's my obstacle. I tried before and it didn't work. That's a fair obstacle. How many people have reached out to you and have tried to do what you're saying you can help them do? They tried it before and it didn't work for them, right? So how can you build trust, right? So what would be in your value stack to do that? And maybe it's, hey, I'm going to provide you with a clear plan that you and I are going to work on. I'm going to send you video reviews of the plan. You're going to get a change report. You're going to see in real time how, when you do something, how that changes your credit and your profile, or whatever that might be. I don't know where to start. That's okay. You don't have to know where to start. I'm going to give you, right after this call, you're going to get a detailed action plan. This is going to be your roadmap. It's going to tell you number one, number two, number three, all the things you need to do. This is going to give them clarity. It will take too long. Maybe you have a 90-day sprint plan or a 30-day sprint, but you can say, hey, on the action plan, do numbers 1, 2, and 3. That's our 30-day sprint. You're going to see how fast this can change around. And maybe in 30 days, you can go and get your thing. Maybe it takes longer, but this is your 30-day sprint, right? It's going to help reduce fear that it's not going to take too long, right? What score do I need? Maybe you have some kind of score goal sheet that you've created. If you're a loan officer, for instance, and a client says, well, what score do I need? Maybe you have in your value stack, you have a list of all the different loan products and what the guidelines are for those loan products. So you can say, hey, I'm going to give you the score goals that we need, as well as all of the guidelines that we're going to need to make sure we cover to get to this loan. So we're going to pick the loan. We're going to hit a big circle around the one that we think is best for you. And we're going to start working on that together, right? If you're a credit professional and you're providing services for mortgage loan officers, it's a really good one. Collaborate with your mortgage loan officer to create a score goal sheet with the different loan products. Let the loan officer help you determine which loan product is going to be best for your consumer, what those guidelines are. And then your job as the credit professional is help the client reach all those guidelines, right? This creates certainty. They actually see, hey, this is the things I need to get done. The action plan says, hey, these are the things that need to be done. I don't know what to pay first. So you have a priority list. LevelUp Score does that for you guys, right? So it's going to tell you like what's the easiest to hardest thing to do so we can have movement faster. And this removes that overwhelm. Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you exactly the first thing to do. I'm going to tell you the second thing to do. I'm going to tell you the third thing to do. You're going to see a priority list from me. My finances are a mess. So maybe you have a savings plan strategy. Maybe you have a way for them to help them with budgeting. This creates some control for them. My DTI, my debt to income ratio is too high. So maybe you have a DTI strategy that gives direction. We're actually building this into LevelUp Score right now for you guys. So this is going to be huge, especially if you're working with mortgage lenders or people who are wanting to buy a car and things like that, so they can strategize on how to reduce their debt to income ratio so they can afford more, right? So this is just an example of how you have your obstacle on one side, what you can add in your stack that would help alleviate that obstacle and why it works. Okay, so add to this stack is the solution. And some of these you can bundle up together. So, I don't know where to start. You're going to get an action roadmap with our 90-day plan, so you can add it together. So it doesn't have to necessarily, you don't have to list out 100 different values. And I would encourage you not to have 100 different things under a bullet point of everything that you're going to get. So consolidating some of these could be valuable as well. Okay. All right. So the value stack is you solving everything standing between them and the dream outcome. Remember, the value stack is you solving everything, capital everything, that would be standing in their way of them taking on your offer for the dream outcome. Okay. So most value stacks require zero extra work. And I think that's important because some people I've seen try to go create all these things for their value stack and they're creating a bunch of extra work. But now you're going to get an hour consult with me every month to go over everything. And you're just adding a bunch of work. You don't have to add a bunch of work. I think I told you in the beginning, I had a credit repair professional recently he had his value stack, it was beautiful value stack. He added LevelUp Score into that value stack. And because it gave so many more values for his value stack, he actually increased his cost by double what he was already charging. And people bought very easily because they saw the value. Remember the Ferrari at 30,000. If I can see the value very clearly, it's going to be easy to say yes. I don't have to ask my spouse. right? I don't have to wait till Friday. I will find that money to get started, right? Because the perceived value is so big, it makes absolute sense for me to say yes, right? So we'll figure it out. All right. So part two of this segment is the most value stacks items require zero work. So some examples, level of score, if you're in the credit and financial space, it generates the action plan for the client. LevelUp score shows score improvements. You can have templates that are reusable. You can have check-ins that can be automated, like LevelUp score automates check-ins. You can do video reviews that take 5 minutes or less, right? Those are all things that you can add into your value stack. And I know some of you guys are doing monthly reviews for your clients, and you're on the phone with them 15, 20, 30, 35, 45 minutes, and 1 hour goes by and you're like, oh shoot, I was supposed to get off of that in 15 minutes, right? I've been guilty of it. So you can change that into a video review, which actually becomes even more powerful. You can do that right inside of LevelUp Score, which is really unique. So again, you don't have to do more things. You just have to show the value and connect that to that person, right? Okay. Value doesn't mean more work. It means more clarity for the client. So we're connecting the values to the outcome, right? So they can clearly see that they're going to get there. All right. So this is segment 3. I'm going to show you some real value stack examples because I don't know about you guys, but I hate being taught something and then I can't see it for myself so that I can really envision me putting it together. So I'm going to show you some examples of that I think you'll find pretty impressive. So example number 1, this is the home buyer niche. I know a lot of you guys work with home buyers, loan officers, real estate agents. You guys are working with home buyers. And I just made a little short one. This is a $49 value stack. Certainly with this value stack, you could charge a lot more than $49, but we're just going to go with this because I want to show you how there's very little work involved here, but a lot of value to the client. Okay. So dream outcome for the client, get mortgage ready in 90 days without confusion. And a $49 value stack. So the stack, you get a LevelUp score action plan, you get a 90-day roadmap, DTI improvement strategy, you get your score goal report, a priority list, a savings plan, identity review, your monthly video consultations, homebuyer readiness score, and then bonuses. I'm also going to give you a homebuyer tracker, a pre-approval binder, and community group access to my community group, right? Total value, $820, price, $49. Okay. So do you see how that $49, they're getting all that and they're like, really? I get all that? You do want to make sure that you show the value though. Okay. Oh, go back up to. So for instance, what I do is if it's like LevelUp score action plan, which you would name it whatever name you want it, right? Your action plan, $199 value, a 90-day roadmap, $49 value, whatever. And you're going to value out each of these things that you're giving them and the bonuses, value of bonuses, right? So then you have the total value but all you're going to pay is this, right? So that's a great way to do a value stack. So hopefully that helps you. But do you see on all of these, it's little to no additional work for me. Probably is no other additional work. Maybe I'm making a priority list. This isn't LevelUp score, so I don't have to. Maybe I'm helping them create a savings plan or a budget plan. Maybe those are based off of templates. Or, if I'm using Smart Credit, for instance, they have Money Manager right inside. So I just show them in a video on how to use that, right? So it's not necessarily that I'm doing more work. I'm just showing them how everything that's included in my process is going to help them get to their goal, right? And I'm showing the value versus what they're going to pay. All right, example number 2, single mom niche. Dream outcome, feeling financially strong and in control. So stack includes confidence roadmap. This is actually the LevelUp score plan named for the niche. So you can name your plan for whatever niche you have. So confidence roadmap, budget and savings plan, a timeline, support pieces, weekly check-ins, a community group, step-by-step priorities, right? And value, $79. So we would say, okay, what is this worth? What is this worth? And then total value, what you're going to pay, $97. That makes sense? I hope this is clicking for you guys. I'm going to show you one additional example, and this is if you're working with loan officers. For those of you who are doing credit help for loan officers, the dream outcome of the loan officer is clear, predictable approvals. So you can go to the loan officer and say, hey, I'm going to do this for you for all your referrals. When you send someone over, I'm going to give them an action plan. I'm going to give them a borrower roadmap. I'm going to help them with DTI strategies so we make sure that they can afford have as much buying power as possible. They're going to get monthly updates that you're going to be CC'd on. and you're going to get your own partner only access so you can see exactly what's going on all the time, right? So you actually value stack for your referral people as well. A lot of you didn't think about that, did you? But this is really important. So I give this specific one for you guys that are working with loan officers. Take this, copy and paste it. Go ahead. All right. So I want to finalize here with some calls to action. So before I wrap up, I want to give you 2 ways that you can take this deeper and actually implement it. Please don't walk away and watch this live and go, oh, this is great, I need to implement it, and not do it. So I want to help you make sure that you do it. For those of you who are not on LevelUp Score, again, LevelUp Score is going to be such an important engine to helping create that value stack without extra work for you guys. So LevelUp Score is built to plug into a value stack very easily. If you want to add massive value to your value stack in the simplest way possible without adding extra work, then your next step is to get on my demo. I actually have a demo tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So if you would like to get on that demo and see how LevelUp Score actually can be built into your value stack, increase your prices, create more stickiness with your clients, keep them longer, then you're going to want to be on that demo call. Again, that's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time. You can comment below demo. We'll make sure you get that link and send that out to you. But we will also just put that link in the comments so you can just click and register for that demo. Again, that's Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I can't wait to see you guys there. I want to see you guys. I want to see your value stacks because I'm going to tell you that by adding LevelUp Score into the value stack, you are going to be irresistible in your offer. And we'll show you exactly how you can use that and tally out those values that are included in LevelUp Score. The next one I want you to take advantage of is my 15-minute value stack strategy session. So if you've seen this live and you're like, oh, I'm really excited about putting the value stack together, but I need a little bit of guidance, we can do that. So if you were to comment below stack, I'll send you my link for a 15-minute value stack strategy session. In that call, I'll review your current offer. What are you offering? Identify your dream customer if you haven't done so already. Map out their obstacles and then build the value stack with you. I'll show you, and then I'll show you how to monetize on it immediately. Okay. So this is really important. I'm glad that I have the time to do that. I only have a limited amount of people that I can actually do that for in any given week. So I decided this week I'm going to set that at 10 because last week's strategy call, I had way too many people take me up on that offer and it really bogged down my schedule. So I am going to limit it at 10 this week for that strategy call. So make sure you click on the link. I'll put that in the comments. You can also comment stack and we'll send that to you, but make sure you are scheduled for that immediately because I will only take 10 and then I'm going to turn off any availability for booking under that link. Okay. So final for my close today, I really can't wait to help you get your value stacks together. Okay, so if you're not doing this, do this. Again, you can comment demo for the LevelUp Score demo tomorrow, Wednesday, 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. And then you can comment stack for the strategy session. Just real clear on the demo call, when you click to register for that demo, and then make sure if you haven't done so already, go to the website levelupscore.com, sign up, click sign up for your free demo account so that you're ready to demo it with me on that call. That's really important. And then if you do comment stack and you book the 15-minute value stack strategy call, make sure you're on time. I do have a timer that starts at that time that I open up that screen. I hit that timer. I am strict on that 15 minutes. So we want to make sure you come in prepared, on time, and ready to talk about this so I can deliver as much value as possible. I appreciate you all. Happy Tuesday. I'll see you next week for Tuesday's top tips. And next week, we're going to be talking to people who are really just trying to get their first leads. So maybe you are a individual who you haven't even got your first 10 leads. Maybe you need your first 20, you need your first 50. That's the person I'm going to be talking to on Tuesday's top tips. It'll help everybody, but if you are above that range, you know, you've been doing business, you know how to get leads, please go back and listen to the replay for Tuesday's top tip last week on how to convert 100% of those leads. So tomorrow we're going to be, or next Tuesday, we'll talk about how to get the leads. And then always refer back to the Tuesday where we talk about converting 100% of your leads so that you're making sure that those leads count. Okay. So it's really not fun to do the work and the lead not count. So make sure you do that. But I appreciate you. Have a beautiful Tuesday, and I'll see you next week.